The future is coming to a conclusion as the Justice League has been replaced by white Martians. Bruce Wayne is trying to finally defeat the Magistrate, and Tim Drake is apparently immortal. This is Future State, right here at the Comicstorian channel, where we take your favorite trade paperbacks and single issues and I break them down into digestible bites to help you understand. Then I read them dramatically back to you. Future State is an event over at DC Comic Books which is taking place over the course of 2 months. It's telling a lot of possible what-if futures, a Gotham that has been taken over by an evil villain, a Superman who's missing from the planet, a Wonder Woman from the Amazon, that kind of a storyline. We'll be getting back to normal DC storylines in about 3 weeks from now. But today we're going to be covering Justice League issue number 2. The year's 2040, and the brand new Justice League, who doesn't really communicate and they're not as close as the old Justice League, has just been removed from power by a series of white Martians trying to pretend to be them. We'll then be doing the Justice League Dark backup behind that, in which Zatanna and Bobo have been looking for Dr. Fate, and just found him when they discovered that John Constantine was also on the case. We'll be looking at the Dark Detective, where Bruce Wayne has basically been removed from Gotham for about 3 years and is trying to figure out how to come back and defeat the Magistrate and Peacekeeper 01. On the back end of that one is a Grifter storyline, in which Grifter is now teaming up with the Huntress and various other individuals to try and get out of Gotham during this entire event. And the final storyline we'll be telling you is about Robin Eternal number 2, in which Tim Drake has just absorbed the Lazarus formula while Stephanie Brown is around watching it happen. He can seemingly heal from anything now, and that was the cliffhanger on that one. Well, there you go, you're all caught up. Let's go ahead and start with Future State Justice League. With the white Martians taking the roles of the newest Justice League, they make their presence known by aggressively acting out as heroes. Each one taking on the traits of their counterparts, but with a little more force. One night upon returning to the Hall of Justice, the fake team brings in a couple of humans for their experiments, and one member of the Hyper Clan asks how long they're going to continue this ruse. Their moves are becoming increasingly risky. The leader of the clan, Protex, tells them that it doesn't matter. They have what they need. Too many times have they let the Justice League control their fate. They tricked them into believing that they were human and then locked them up and banished them. With the real Justice League gone, these so-called scientists will finally give them what's theirs: the world. A few members of the clan state that this is all unnecessary. The humans believe them to be the Justice League and they worship them for it. Maybe they could find happiness here. But as the Martian finishes, Protex blasts them away, turning them into a smoldering pile of ash, stating that they are owed vengeance. The Justice League must pay. Meanwhile, over on a scorched world, Superman says that he thought that the Phantom Zone was bad. Green Lantern says that her ring isn't picking up anything from the archives. The only thing that she can tell is that the air here is extremely toxic. Anything that tried to live here would die in a matter of days. Superman then tells her, that's the scary thing. We have no idea how long those imposters were acting as us. Our rules of keeping everything separate and never knowing each other's real lives let that happen. Batman calls out that arguing won't help them. We have to find a way home now. Flash laughs. That's rich coming from some guy with no powers. What help are you going to be on another planet? Aquawoman tries to manipulate the nearby water, but as nothing comes, she says that there's nothing out there. This planet is just fire into ash. Wonder Woman then yells that she found something, and everyone hurries over to a pile of rubble that once used to be homes, and they see something written on them. Both Superman and Green Lantern look at it, realizing that it's Martian. Aquawoman then says that she cut the fake Superman. He didn't bleed. And when she was a kid, she heard that the Martian Hyper Clan attacked. The punishment was more brutal than anything that they had tried before, and she overheard her parents arguing about the punishment. Her father felt that it was too cruel, but she never heard what that punishment was. But now she knows. They sent them to a world made of the thing that white Martians fear the most: fire. Green Lantern begins to scan the carvings, asking if the Legion of Doom had a white Martian. These carvings, they looked more like a blueprint, a way to enslave humanity if they ever escaped. They really need to get home. Aquawoman then asks, how does she know that they aren't white Martians and this is some kind of trap? Batman tells her, Green Lantern's ring can't be replicated by white Martians. Aquawoman, you failed your aquakinesis, which feels convenient. But really, it's Wonder Woman, Superman, and Flash that I'm worried about. As white Martians, they can easily replicate there. Superman asks, what are you doing right now? Who are you to question anyone? You have no powers, which would make you the easiest to pose as. Hell, you've kept your identity secret from everyone. Batman asks, how did your father revealing his identity to the world work out for him? As the two begin to argue, Green Lantern pushes them apart, stating that they get it. They're big boys. The White Martians can fake some of their powers, sure, but there are other ways that they can show them who they really are. Green Lantern looks at Wonder Woman, saying she bites her lip when she's stressed, like when Superman and Batman started to argue. And Wonder Woman says that Green Lantern uses more elaborate constructs when she's feeling cocky. Superman only ever talks about how he wanted the League to be like his dad's, where everyone knew and hung out with each other. And Superman looks at Batman, telling him. And sometimes Batman starts humming to himself when he fights, like he's giving himself his own fight scene music. Flash then says that Princess Andy talks in her sleep, and Superman laughs. Princess Andy? Guess some of us really know each other. Batman then says that all of these things a telepath could know. Talking about feelings does nothing to get them home. He then turns to Flash, telling him that they aren't even from this world to begin with. How can they prove that they haven't been a Martian all along? Flash moves their fingers, stating, wow, it's nice to know that we still don't trust each other, but how about this? I can feel the vibrational frequencies of this world. A White Martian can't do that. This Earth, it's not Earth 0. The vibrations are off. We must be on a new Earth within the multiverse. Batman says that's very convenient to tell them now. But Aquawoman draws her blades, telling them to back off. Flash says that they should be able to give them part of the Speed Force and possibly get them back to their world by jumping frequencies. All they have to do is run. Meanwhile, back on Earth, Protex begins to set the last piece of his machine in his Martian form, and one of the other Martians asks why he isn't in disguise. Protex laughs, stating that today is the end of humankind. Wanted to dress the part. With our Martian technology combined with the new Hall of Justice, we'll be able to connect our minds to every human on this world. They'll revert to their primitive state, perfect for enslaving. We'll be seen as gods! But at that moment, there's a crack of lightning as the real Superman leads the League out of Flash's portal, yelling, surprise! HyperClan, right? Protex shouts, no! We were so close! Don't let them steal our revenge! Wonder Woman flies in, hitting the Aquawoman Martian, telling her, I'm not a fan of hitting my friends. As Superman asks, wait, we're friends now? Aquawoman swings, asking, how do I know which one's the real Green Lantern? And Batman tells her, the one not using the constructs! The Flash begins to spin around with Superman punching him, as Superman shouts, it's him! Flash stops, realizing their mistake. We're sorry. But the Martian Superman blasts him, telling him, tricked you! Wonder Woman then jumps onto the Martian's back, wrapping her chains around his neck. Yeah, and you just gave yourself away. Green Lantern gets ready to attack Flash and Batman and asks, what was my first relationship in the city enduring? Batman tells her, Zine of the Cliffs, by the streaking ice. Who could forget a name like that? And Flash tells her, yeah, we're friends here. Green Lantern then hits them both with a construct variation of the real Batman and Flash, stating, wrong. He never told that to the League. Only mind readers would know that. Batman then stands over the reverting Martians, telling everyone, good job, we defeated the Martians. But Superman grabs him as his eyes glow. You didn't hum! The Batman Martian reverts back. Please, we surrender. Just don't send us back to that hell. Inside of the hall, both Flashes attack one another as Protex's machine begins to activate. Aquawoman rushes inside, asking which one does she attack, and both Flashes yell, we're the real one, but we're running out of time. One Flash shouts, do it now, princess. Aquawoman says fine and attacks the Flash. Protex was mimicking, and the real Flash asks how did she know. And Aquawoman says that only one person calls her princess. Now help smash the machine. Protex gets back up screaming that this isn't over. Tomorrow belongs to... But before he could finish, Batman hits him with a flamethrower, telling him tomorrow belongs to justice. So a short while later, after the Martians are taken away, Superman tells everyone, good job. Since the mission is over, we can all head home. I guess I'll see you guys later. Green Lantern flies up, telling him, wait, maybe we could all grab some dinner. Superman asks, what about our identities? And the Green Lantern tells him that knowing each other better helped them out today. Maybe it's worth the risk. So a few months later, after rebuilding the wrecked Hall of Justice, Superman looks up at the statues of the old team, and Wonder Woman asks if he's ready. Superman tells her that he just has some butterflies. That's all. He's always wanted a Justice League like his dad's. And as the two walk into the conference room, Green Lantern tells them that they're late. Wonder Woman asks who made her leader, and she tells them when they all voted her to be the leader. Listen, we've all been through a lot together, and the old Justice League rules held us back. Batman removes his cowl. It's about time we made new rules. And Green Lantern says, exactly right. Now that we're all on the same page, let's get down to the first order of business. Who do we invite to our Justice League? Justice League Dark, Issue 2. Khaled tells everyone that it was many years ago, while he was seeking a way to fix the damaged helmet of Dr. Fate, that Merlin attacked the Tower of Fate. Like all the other magical anchors of the world, it too fell, but without Nabu's voice guiding him, resistance was futile. He thought that maybe going to the tomb Kent Nelson found, he might get some answers. He might even find Nabu. But what he found was not Nabu. It's where he met her, Hughette. She said that she could mend the helmet, but because she was far older and less naive, there would be a cost. Altered by Hughette's touch, the helmet burned into his mind visions of the future yet to be. He watched as Merlin used the Tower of Fate to cast a glamour upon the entire world, a spell to hide himself and his actions. He watched Merlin recruit his knights and bend the magic's untamed will to his own, honing it into a weapon. He watched the cleaving of the two, the human and the demon race once joined to a violent purpose, parted by violence in turn. He knows why Etrigan won't fight, because there would be consequences that would fall onto Jason Blood. But really the truth is, Merlin destroyed their friend. Jason Blood is no more. Etrigan shouts, "No, you lie! You have battles to fight and villains to foil, but untruths you set my blood to boil." Khaled says that he has done his part. He turned himself into an old man, kept his spell a secret even from himself, just to reveal this truth here and now. Jason Blood is gone, he is lost, perhaps, but he is still here. Merlin fears him, the last remnant of Hell's power on Earth. So Merlin found a way to take that courage away. But now there is a choice to make. Keep walking down this road out of Cardboard Town, or turn back and confront all that has happened. Khaled places the helmet back on, stating that whatever he chooses, know that they are all that stands against Merlin's wolves, and that they are already at war. As Khaled leaves, Etrigan scoffs, telling him, "Humph! Now, Chip. I can hear you disapproving in there." Inside, Bobo asks if he's really going to walk away from it all. Take the easy way out. Enough with this damn moping. Fate just said that Jason Blood was dead. It's difficult to take, sure, but we've all got friends out there fighting. So if he keeps walking down this path, they're going to have some problems. Etrigan asks if he really thinks that he'd win in a fight, and Bobo tells him of course not. But it's never stopped him before. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Zatanna and Ragman fend off Merlin's hunters as Constantine and Xanadu try to rescue as many people as they can. But just as things started to look good for the heroes, there's a thundering boom as Merlin's circle appears in the sky. Along the ground, Khaled struggles getting up, and one of Merlin's knights asks what he was thinking. He should have known the moment that he came out of hiding that they'd come for him. The helmet was the last piece of Merlin's puzzle. He should have known that he couldn't run forever. Khaled gets up, telling him that he knows more than she thinks, Enchantress, and that there's a difference between hiding and waiting. Enchantress removes her helmet, asking what could he possibly be waiting for, and at that moment, Ragman clears a path, breathing fire down as Constantine and Zatanna walk up. Enchantress asks if this is what they've been waiting for. "Don't you see what Merlin's order has brought to us?" And Constantine tells her that it's just a glamour that he cast so that people would never see the burning in the cages. Enchantress scoffs, telling Zatanna that they are very much the same. "Why stand opposed, Zatanna?" Zatanna winces, stating that she had a friend once. She could have been many things. A warrior, a god, a witch, a queen, but she chose to be herself. If she is here, then she'd say that even the gods are jealous of the mortals, because even though they may live in pain, they die free. Enchantress asks, "So you wish to die free? That can be arranged!" Suddenly, there's another earth-shaking explosion, and lightning begins to strike all of our heroes. Khaled falls to his knees, and Enchantress begins to remove his helmet. And as he screams in pain, something rockets by, knocking her with enough force to throw her down and lose control of her spell. She looks over to see a shadow, and Etrigan steps forward, shouting, "Rise, the demon Etrigan!" He then jumps down, slamming his fist into Enchantress, stating, "Come from on high, a wizard to lay claim over magic from this earthly well. The coward, he sought this fury to tame, only to be foiled by a demon from hell!" As Etrigan savagely punches Enchantress over and over. He picks up her lifeless body, screaming to Merlin, "The fires and beasts of hell hath woken, all between us now cindered and broken. Your champions, they tremble at my feet. Do you see? Come out, you coward, I say unto..." But then an angel's sword shoots through the air and into Etrigan's chest. Up atop a building, Merlin stands with a knight stating that he was wondering when the covenant would be broken. Etrigan says, "Fair words from a forked-tongue oath-breaker. 'Twas you that killed Jason Blood, Forsaker." As the knight jumps down, Merlin asks, "Killed? Why, I've been nothing but kind to Jason. Why not ask him yourself, Etrigan?" Etrigan looks at the knight walking forward. "Jason?" The knight rips the sword out of Etrigan and removes his helmet. It is Jason Blood, and he states, "Look at you. Pathetic, all of you. The honorless trickster, an illusionist tethered to an evil she cannot kill, a sorcerer who hid at the first sign of peril, a coward who fears the power of his own suit, and a demon who deems himself a hero. You tried and you failed. How long did you flounder through the absurdity and whimsy of magic? It has been brought to order under Merlin. He has accomplished all that the Justice League Dark could not. For once, I was offered a choice to be at his right side, so friend, do you yield?" Etrigan laughs, telling him, "What bitter joy it is that Merlin's machine has found a cog, but demon's blood runs deep. It'd rather die in hellfire than live like a dog." Merlin tells Jason to give the demon what he wishes, and Jason lifts his sword, telling him, "Very well." As the sword comes down, there's a loud cracker as Khaled shields Etrigan from the strike. Jason steps back and Khaled looks up asking Merlin, "Shall we have a bargain then?" Jason brings his sword up, telling him, "You have nothing to offer," but Merlin stops him. "Let the good doctor speak." Khaled stands up, telling him, "You will spare me. You will spare all of us." And Merlin asks, "Why would I do that?" Khaled tells him, "The helm. This is what you wanted. The one thing that you cannot have. The power to look into the future. But you know that you just can't use it. Otherwise, you wouldn't bargain for something you could just take." Merlin laughs. "It would seem that you aren't fools." Khaled goes on telling him, "If you spare everyone here, then you can have me as your personal oracle." Etrigan tells Khaled to wait, but Khaled kneels down, telling him that this is the only way. This is why he had to lie about Jason Blood. This is what he was waiting for, this choice. When Hewhet restored the helm, he didn't just see one future, he saw them all. He lived them all. Some short, some eternally long. That is the price that he paid. There is only one future in which they win, and this is not one of them. But you are a demon of hell, and you perceive time differently from the rest of us. So remember, past actions may yet be influenced by the future that you have seen. Khaled then stands up, telling him, "Freedom for freedom is fair trade. John, it matters, everything we do. Rory, you will rise above your own powers and see you have brought us together, even in this dark hour. We would have been lost without you to lead us. Diana believed in you. I do too. When you doubt yourself, remember, where there is magic, there is always hope." And as Khaled finishes, everyone watches as he turns his back and walks through a portal, following Merlin. Future State Dark Detective number 3. Carl Bennington, Plexitech CEO, is a terrible golfer, but he is the organizer of many charity golf tournaments. He once played a Bennington tournament. It was his game, his rules. And really, the only rule was, for Carl, that there were no rules. Now Carl Bennington is dead, shot in his own home playing his own game. The magistrate announced the murder was suspected to be connected to the vigilante activity. Of course, actual vigilantes would have every reason to kill a corporate tick like Bennington, but why this corporate tick? Possibly had something to do with CB Enterprises, which is a flimsy shell company Bennington set up to expand his market. CB Enterprises was working foreign markets, selling cutting-edge technological advances in surveillance. Plexitech is one of the 2 companies that were in the process of developing and manufacturing the magistrate's next level of law and order surveillance. Micro-surveillance by cloaked nano drones. Most people are used to the idea of being watched, but what level of surveillance are you into when you need to murder a man to keep it a secret? That's why tonight it's time to do a little fly fishing. But that's the problem with these new drones. You can catch them, but they have a tendency to explode if they are obstructed. Thankfully, though, there are enough of them that after a few tries, one would perfect the art of them not detonating. Just need to not get caught by the others in the process. Bruce swings his grappling hook and starts to make his way to the grounds, landing on one of the drones in the process. But as one follows, it is destroyed and Bruce looks back asking who's there. Batman walks away telling him, "We both know who. Now who are you?" Bruce gets up, seeing that now someone else is in his original suit, and tells him that he's busy. And Batman tells him, "Whatever you're busy with, it's not safe." As the two walk their separate ways, Batman says, "Make sure to stay home tonight." And Bruce scoffs, telling him, "I pretty much invented that line." Now that that's over with, it's time to see what information is kept on these drones. And that's it. It's everyone. All the time. 24-hour surveillance in the streets, in people's homes, blowing past an invasion of privacy laws to full Panopticon. And 26 minutes before the public police reports estimated time of death of Bennington, peacekeepers. If this was peacekeepers, then this job goes to the top of the magistrate, like Gotham's shining new force of justice. Assassins. Does the magistrate want the tech from these companies? Is that why Carl Bennington and Bruce Wayne had to die? So that others couldn't get it? Now as Bruce tries to wrap his head around that, he overhears Noah's daughter Hannah telling him to get off the roof before he falls and hurts himself. Noah yells that he has the damn right to protect himself from alien signals. "We need this signal interrupter, Hannah!" Hannah sighs, telling him that aliens are both rare and very busy. They're not watching him, okay? But Noah yells, "I hear something!" As he finally comes down and looks back inside, Hannah sees Bruce asking what is he doing. Did he help him put that stupid thing up there? And Bruce says that he was going to take it down. But what's the harm in it being up? Hannah says, does he want to live next to the beeping house? People are complaining. And you know what the problem is? It's guys like him and her father who just sit around and talk about all the wrong of the world without doing anything to actually fix it. So next time, instead of talking about strange noises and alien signals with her dad, he could try to help him not die by keeping him off the roof. As Hannah leaves, there's something that she said that sticks in Bruce's mind. Noises. It's time to take out the new infrared specs, made with Noah's swimming goggles and some tech pulled from a cyber. Bruce goes out onto the roof and he watches Hannah. 6 nanodrones. Why so many to watch her? She did mention that she had a lot of jobs. Bruce hurries down, tailing at Hannah just out of distance to see where she's going. Why is she so important? And of all the places that she pulls into, it's the magistrate headquarters. But wait, Noah said that he could hear the noises. What he heard wasn't aliens. It was the sound of 1,000 eyes in the sky, watching them, watching him. What danger did he just walk these two into? Did he just step into a trap? Either way, no one can hide. Bruce rushes back inside and begins to bash the nanodrones with a bat, stating that they know everything. They know who he is, and they're coming. Grifter, Part 2. As the boot of the Huntress kicks firmly into the face of Grifter, Grifter thinks to himself that he's going to have to finish this job and get Luke out of here. But he's getting the notion that Huntress might still be mad at him. Luke tells her to hang on a second, but Huntress turns back, pointing her crossbow at him. Grifter gets up, telling him that it's cool. He just came here to talk, and as Huntress attacks him again, she says that this is them talking. After another dodge, Grifter swings back, punching Huntress, and after quickly realizing what he just did, he simply says, "Crap, that was instinct!" Luke rushes back to try and break up the fight, yelling, "Whoa, whoa, whoa, whoa! My name is Luke Fox, and I need your help." Huntress asks how do they know that he isn't a cop, and Luke holds up a card stating that the cops don't pay. Huntress takes the card, and Luke goes on telling her that it should be more than enough, untraceable. He needs to get out of Gotham. She scans the card, and after a few moments pass, she tells him, "Okay, 75,000 transferred into my account. Let's get you out of Gotham." Grifter asks, "Why do you get more?" But before Luke can answer, Huntress tells him, "Shut up, there's someone." At that moment, a smoke grenade is thrown into the warehouse and a cyber comes crashing through the door as a dozen magistrate officers storm in. One of the officers sees Huntress standing up on a ledge, and as they grab and spin her around, they see that it's a mannequin holding a bomb. As the building explodes, Huntress races off with Grifter and Luke on her bike, and Grifter says that sitting back here is really emasculating. But before they could get very far, the magistrate starts to rain bullets down, and Grifter says that he told her that they weren't cops. And Huntress asks, "Do you really think that the magistrate wouldn't shoot their own to get to me?" The Grifter starts to shoot back at the drones following, but as Huntress turns a corner, Grifter notices some flammable barrels right next to them. The magistrate begins to close in, and Grifter fires a shot into the barrels, causing a massive explosion, halting the drones. A few moments later, Huntress speeds into another one of her safe houses, stating that this is where they need to be. Now wait. Grifter asks what are they waiting for, and just at that moment, several laser sights focus on him, and he's suddenly shocked. Vale walks up asking if he remembers her. Thanks for ripping off her crew. Huntress tells her that her business is the other one. Get them to the docks, Grifter's yours. Vale says that Grifter is already hers, she's not helping them. Huntress asks if they're going to have a problem, and Grifter holds up his 50,000 card and says, I can pay you back, with interest. A short while later, in the Gotham sewers, Grifter and Luke look over the water, and Luke says that this is it, huh? We just sail out of Gotham now? Grifter says that if they're gonna go out across the water, they'd get blown up. Huntress has a way to avoid that mess. So Luke begins to tell him that when they get out of here, he needs him too, but before he could finish, bright lights flash and Vale says that they're here. Make sure to set a secure perimeter so that no one goes near the rich boy. Grifter helps Luke over, asking, what was that? And Luke says that it's not important. A few moments later, a high-tech sub emerges from the water, and Huntress says that this has a remote beacon that is undetectable by the magistrate and the peacekeepers. It'll be going about 30 knots, so he'll be home in bed before the night's over. Luke looks at the sub, stating that his father made this, didn't he? And Huntress tells him, yep, make sure to thank Lucius for me. Just then, there's an explosion, and the magistrate begin to swarm the area, and Huntress tells Luke that he's a traitor. And Luke tells her, I'm sorry, truly. Grifter looks over asking, wait, you sold us out? And Luke says, it's nothing personal, it's just a job. You of all people should understand that. But you were never the target, you were just a means to the end. Luke kicks Grifter back and says, this is a gift to you. Get in this sub and leave Gotham and never come back, Grifter. And Grifter asks, what are you going to tell them? And Luke tells him that they got the Queen of Clubs. That's all anyone cares about. Grifter smacks his hand away, jumping over the ledge into the sub. The controls tell him that he must press 3 launch buttons to begin. He stares for a moment at his hand as it hovers over the button, and then he stops. Outside, Peacekeeper 08 stands over Huntress, telling her that it's over. So Grifter jumps in, spraying the area with bullets, stating, it's not over yet! But Peacekeeper 08 grabs him by the leg, throwing him beside Huntress. Huntress says that they can't beat him, and Grifter says, yeah, I'm starting to get that feeling. Peacekeeper 08 jumps into the air, but from throwing Grifter, his ammo belt came loose. So Grifter shoots the grenades on the belt, detonating it, encasing 08 in flames. Grifter hands Huntress his card, stating, this is my money. And before you ask, yes, I gave Vale an empty one. Huntress then asks, why is he giving her this? And Grifter knocks her out and sets her in the sub, telling her that he's trying to be less of a, well, you know. Huntress mutters that he is stupid, but Grifter jumps out telling her, I'm gonna buy you some cover. Good luck, go help more people. 08 stands up from the fire, disfigured, stating, it's over, you lost. Grifter watches the sub leave, and Luke shouts that they're letting him go in exchange for her. What the hell were you thinking? You could have walked out of here free. This is how the debt is repaid? You're going to Blackgate for a long damn time, Grifter. And as Grifter listens to Luke shout, he sits back and smiles. Future State Robin Eternal number 2. As the Lazarus resin drips off of Tim's body, he begins to stand up, stating, this is not how I planned any of this to go. It wouldn't be easy sneaking into a magistrate convoy, even with Spoiler showing up at the last minute to help him and Darcy. He knew it would be a one-way trip. He starts to stand up as his bones snap and twist. Tim just thought that he'd die from this trip, and that he would stay dead. With a single punch, Tim knocks the head off of the cyber, and Spoiler and Darcy just stare. Tim tells himself as he snaps again. Alright, need to focus. I'm not dead. Spoiler and Darcy are counting on me. My whole family is counting on me. I have to destroy the Lazarus resin before it reaches Gotham. Don't think about the side effects. Don't think about what the Lazarus pit did to Jason. Don't think about how it makes him feel so strong. Strong enough to save the whole damn world. More magistrate soldiers come running in. 30 of them. Any other day it would have been too much, but right now he can take them all on with one arm tied behind his back. Is this how Jason feels all the time? Spoiler tells Darcy that there's a change in plans. They have to figure out what happened to Robin. Try and use the magistrate systems to find out any information that they can use while she saves the boy wonder. But Tim doesn't need help. Spoiler thinks he needs it, but he doesn't. And for the first time in a long time, oh, he's got this. Spoiler calls out to Tim, but suddenly everything begins to change, and Tim sees Two-Face? He and Spoiler were fighting him. They'd normally win, but not now. Two-Face tells him that he isn't strong enough. Too green. No way he'd win. and then a shadowy figure appears stating that Two-Face is right. Soon visions of Nightwing and Damian appear, both telling Tim that he can't save Gotham. If he couldn't save them, how would he save the whole city? He isn't Batman. It's all up to him, and he isn't good enough. He'll never be good enough. Meanwhile, Darcy is frantically searching the computer for information regarding the resin, and all she can find is that it's not compatible with human emotions. Darcy calls out to Spoiler, explaining that the resin is not supposed to be compatible with organic life, and Spoiler asks, "Alright, what do we do now? Because he's definitely tripping out." Darcy signs that Tim wanted to destroy the resin. That's what they're gonna do. Tim looks back at the two of them talking, and a voice asks, "Why is Spoiler here? She has no interest in watching the ones that she loves dies, and yet here she is." The voice screams and it screams, and Tim shouts that the plan is to listen to him. They need a solution to destroying the resin, something that will dilute the compound. Darcy says that that's it. They have to crash the convoy into the river. The voice returns asking, "Is that why you brought Darcy? She's always the smart one. You knew that this would happen. You just didn't want to admit it, because it would have meant that you doomed Spoiler and Darcy." As the three make their way to the bridge, Spoiler asks if he's okay. She thought that the voice responds, "died." She thought he died. She lived through him dying in front of her so many times, each getting more painful than the last. She knows that he is the reason for her pain, and one of these days, he'll be the final nail in her coffin. Won't he? Tim smiles. Not if I can help it. As they reach the giant metal door, Spoiler asks what is the plan, and Tim begins to pry the doors open with his strength, telling them to take them down. Save Gotham. Inside, Peacekeeper 13 loads his gun. "That was quite an impressive show. Thank you for being the guinea pig. We knew someone would come for the resin. As they cut open your dead body, we're gonna see what it does to a human. Peacekeeper 1 will be pleased." The voice tells Tim that he's lying. Is he going to let him speak to him that way? Perhaps he isn't the son of the Bat. Tim yells to Spoiler and Darcy to stay back, and he charges in head first. He begins to take down each of the soldiers, and 13 says that this is magnificent, taking down a highly skilled operative with his bare hands. But as he squeezes on the man's neck, Spoiler tells him to stop. "The resin, it's doing something to you, Tim. You're going to kill that foot soldier. That's not what Batman taught you." The voice tells Tim that she is weak, always has been. She doesn't know what you have to do to keep her safe. And Tim shouts, "You don't understand! No one ever understood what I had to do! What I have to do!" But as Spoiler pleads, the soldier runs up, cuffing her. At that moment, Darcy yells as the shadowy figure grabs her and says, "They are all distractions! They always have been! You know the real mission. You have to kill him. It's the only way to be free, Tim. You've always been the most like him. Others doubt. Think that you don't have what it takes to keep the family safe. That you're not strong enough, not smart enough." Tim lunges in, punching the shadowy figure, shouting, "I'm not Batman!" And 13 falls to the ground, freeing Darcy, but Tim can feel the resin fading, almost like it's scared. Serotonin, maybe? Darcy activates the controls to send the convoy down, and she can see that Spoiler was taken away. Good. She didn't have to die here. But nothing could kill him, though. He's already dead. As the convoy passes some nearby buildings, Tim grabs Darcy, jumping out the window. He planned this part, calculated it. Trajectory to the building is just enough that he can do one last thing before. Tim throws Darcy onto the ledge, saving her, but ends up plummeting to the depths below. Tim tells Bruce that he's coming, but before he could finish that thought, he slams into the water. Darcy calls out to him, fearing the worst, but at the last moment, a hand reaches out of the water. And there you guys have it, a few more episodes of the Future State situation with DC comic books. Now, Future State is coming to an end in about 2 weeks, I think. So we'll be doing Future State for about 2 more weeks to wrap up the last of the plot lines. And then we're going to be moving into Infinite Frontier, which is the brand new DC initiative, the brand new direction that normal DC Comics is going. If you're not following, we also do King in Black on Saturdays. So make sure you check back for that, because when that wraps up, we're going to be wrapping up a lot more storylines. We also just put out some Batman Beyond. We're still wrapping up that plot line, some Spider-Man. So just what I'm saying is, if you could check back on the channel on a daily basis, we would greatly appreciate that if you like comic books. It's 99% of the time, mostly Marvel and DC comics. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for your continued support. I really do appreciate you guys being here today. I've actually been a huge fan of Future State. I think some of the storylines are going in a weird direction, but some of them aren't. I think some of them are really good, and I'm kind of glad that some of the elements are going to be wrapped into regular DC. Anyway, guys, don't forget to check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Comicstorian for ad-free versions of our videos and early access, and you get a vote on what videos are are coming out. So we'd love to see you over there. Either way, I'll see you guys next time right here at the Comicstorian channel, and thank you.